Welcome to Environment Sustainable Travel Meeting, everybody. Item number one is apologies for absence. I have Councillors Scott, Visser and Peacock make their apologies. I would propose to accept those apologies. Can I have a second? Second. Thank you, Councillor Pond. That's right. All those in favour of accepting? Thank you very much. Item number two is to receive members' declarations of interest. Anybody got any declarations to make? No, good. Excellent stuff. We'll move on. Item three is to approve the accuracy of the minutes from the meeting of the 6th of March. I would like to propose that we do accept those as a true and correct record of the meeting. Can I have a second on that, please?
I'll second that, Chair.
Substitute check. Thank you, Councillor Barton. Has anybody got any questions or queries with regards to those minutes? No. I'll ask for a show of hands, please, for that. Thank you very much. Okay, Chairman's updates. Bike bus, no other updates on this one. I have to say, my focus was on other things last year, so I do want to resurrect conversations with this. We were in conversation with St Mary's, but nothing happened. I just think I think we just need to persevere. Maybe speak to a few more schools about it, but I think they've got other things going on as well. So, but having said that, Active Travel England do have some fantastic promotional videos of schools and children that are cycling and scooting into school and the benefits and how what they bring, and which is something that I think we could potentially use in the future. So stay tuned on that one. There was also the Young Green Britain Challenge, which was at Inverhall School. Unfortunately, due to sickness, we couldn't send any council officers to attend the 25th of March. And also there was a Dragon's Den event as well, which wasn't happening due to exams. There's no other update on that one, and we're not sure moving forward what the next process is. But I would ask Deputy Town Clerk to maybe reach out to them again and find out what next steps are. If there's anything else that we can do with that. We mentioned the bike stand. We've got Bike Week as well coming up on the 9th to the 16th of June. So let's get everybody on their bikes that week. Every meeting. Obviously, I'm only kidding. As well, there is a Cycling UK are doing a promotion for that, so hopefully we can. I've spoken about this, so there's going to be some posts, social media posts about it as well. Does anybody have any comments with regards to that? Those updates there? Excellent. Item number 5 is the walking and cycling leaflet. So does everybody know what the cycling and walking leaflet is? Okay, so progress has been made on the production of the draft with Sustrans, and we're looking at completing the final design and launching the leaflet in July. And then what happens in terms of, sorry to land you in this one, but what happens with promotion of the leaflet and where is it going? Do we have a plan for that?
I am not aware, but we can certainly note that as an action to share.
The distribution and promote, is it going to be, I think we talked about it with Sue and Alice about sending them, to train stations outside of Grinstead and, so London area and stuff like that, so people can pick it up and then and presumably that's all going to go on the website as well.
I would think so.
Yeah. Does anybody have any queries or questions or thoughts on that? Okay, so, but we will get drafted anyway, won't we? So we can have a look at that prior to
Again,
July.
I assume so. I was just because I'm not remotely.
No, that's fine.
So yeah.
Make a note of that. Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Item number 6 is the shared service working group. Councillor Whittaker came in last meeting to talk about that. Since then, we've had 2 meetings with the East Grinstead Business Association, the district officers, and also town council officers as well to discuss the consultants brief. which has been prepared and being finalised by Mid Sussex, who will be going out to tender in the next few weeks, and will be funding the work, that consultation work. Consultant responses are due back by the 16th of June. And so actually that's going at a fairly quick pace, which I'm really pleased about. So we should hopefully have some more information about that.
Yeah, I had something that to add, apologies, it wasn't in there, is that the tender back on the 16th of June, and Mid Sussex are looking to have the completed proposal for the town centre returned to them within 10 to 12 weeks of that date. So we're looking at it being back to us by the end of September, hopefully, which would be brilliant.
So that's all good stuff. Sustainable travel update. There's nothing else to report. So this is really just to note, unless there are any other items that people want to discuss about sustainable travel. So just note that as per the report, please. Noted.
Noted.
Bike hire scheme, cycle parking. We've recently sent out a survey to as many people as we possibly can with regards to their thoughts on a bike hire scheme. We've had 80 responses to date. And we're going to promote it further within the new Line leaflet that goes out 3 times a year, which can be published shortly. So we're just waiting for more information on that one. Having had a brief look at some of the answers that are coming through, it's sort of a 50-50 in terms of in favour and not in favour, but we just have to wait and see the answers on that. Councillor
Yeah, like just because people aren't interested in the bike scheme doesn't mean that they don't. And I think maybe this is one of the questions: would you see it as benefit to the community of having a bike scheme? Because there will be people that it's not for them. That doesn't mean they don't support it for the community, for those that can. It was also interesting, and I know that the population is quite small, but it tends to be, overwhelmingly leisure, recreation, and half day. So I think that also, could inform that actually maybe some of we were concerned. I think we wanted more points within a shorter time frame of each other, or shorter distance from each other, because it was more kind of quick use drop off, which I'm not saying we should aim for. But if you are having it for half a day and it's for leisure, which is 40% half a day, leisure, recreation 42%, that says to me actually they're going to be cycling a reasonable distance. You would have, and again, there's a bit of supposition in here. So although we should look for as many locations close together, this says to me that actually, if we were only to have a few that are further apart, given what we've seen, that wouldn't necessarily mean the scheme wouldn't go ahead, or that's my supposition.
Yeah, no, I agree. Don't anybody have any questions with regards to that? Yes.
No, it's a statement, really. I'm very disappointed that Queen Victoria Hospital haven't given their parking.
Yeah.
It would be an ideal solution for them.
4%.
And as I'm the stakeholder governor, I'm very happy to take that forward.
Delighted if you
I certainly will be.
Yeah.
No space to accommodate. Ridiculous.
So there's already an existing bike lane.
Of course there is.
Main
Ermintry
by
is
the
in one of them.
by the car park.
And everybody using a bike to get there is not using the car parking space.
Exactly.
Yeah, which does not happen anyway. That's Councillor Bott.
Thank you, Chairman, for letting me speak, as I'm not a member of your committee. Yes, I see there's no response from the Bluebell. I'm not surprised. There is a very tiny amount of the Bluebell plot of land in this grid that is minuscule, isn't it? We've got 3 car parking spaces. So there's not a lot of room on their land for facilities like this. But right beside it, of course, is Sainsbury's car park. So have any contact been made with the main supermarkets and the district council, the providers of car parks around the town?
They haven't done. To be fair, particular location because you've already got secured a location outside the station anyway,
Yeah.
in front of the station.
Yeah.
So if there's adequate signage, but I think we've covered on that. Although it's nice to have dialogue with Bluebell, and obviously if there is a cycle high scheme where people come off of the train, it's a 50-metre walk. You know, to the
Just the Forest Way, we talked about having it on the, where the underpass is to Sackville School. I think, is that when we're saying around the Forest Way, there now is an indication that wouldn't be suitable? Is that spot, or are we talking in the agenda Forest Way, we're talking about different location?
Yeah, so on the agenda, that is the Herent Eye
That's the
junction
same
at
one, yeah.
Forest Way, whereas the one that originally a year ago we were talking about on the Lewis Road, the Sackville roundabout.
Okay, yes.
That
Both
topic,
within,
West Sussex had come back and said that there's a location out on the Herent Eye Road entrance of Forest Way
fine,
that could be used.
but not the comment around we cannot use the area at the end of Forest Way is the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to check that because there's two Forest Way
Yeah.
sites. Thank you.
We've also had several meetings with West Sussex County Council and their active travel officer, who's very good. We're in regular dialogue with her. And she is investigating about using one of their car parking spaces on the High Street opposite Market Square as well.
That would be, that would be a fantastic location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Station there in Forest Way, that's,
Sorted.
So car parking spaces
On the High Street.
on the high street.
Yeah, opposite Market Square. There's the bond.
just checking, not assuming anything, Chair. Sports Club, I think, again, we've talked about this before. I would love to get a cycle one there. I would just be concerned, and maybe this is being overly paranoid, that there could be an accident for which, you know, that road is treacherous. Now, I don't know for those that cycle. I for one would not like to cycle there, and certainly wouldn't want to cycle up Standard, especially with the articulated lorries going to Evergreen Farm, whatever that one's called. So yeah, not to say fully support having it there. I just think we need to be cognizant of loads of articulated lorries and the dangers of that, especially given that the people riding may not be proficient cyclists that are used to riding on a road. These, you look at the feedback, recreation, leisure, they're people that, if they have their own bike, they'll probably bring their own bike. So just a word of caution to committee, or that we're not talking about regular cyclists, road going cyclists. We're talking about leisure users, and we know that road is treacherous.
I think once we have further survey results, we'll continue promoting online as well. Once we kind of consider the survey to be closed and we have more data, we can bring that back to this committee, analyse it and make some decisions from there. It seems sensible.
That's great. Installation of bike rack boarding hire scheme at the Eastminster train station. Needs to be, we need to have I've been asked to get an answer to this in terms of do we go ahead with it
Yes.
without the results of the survey.
Yes. Do you want to proceed with installing the bike rack at the train station in the allocated space they advised us of in advance of the survey result?
No,
No. Okay,
well, that's my own point of view.
that's fine.
I don't know if anybody else got any thoughts.
I've got a contrary view, which is I think we nab that, we get it, we lock it in. I think we take a bit of a risk, and I do appreciate there is a bit of a risk here. But what do we put there, and how much cost do we sink? Can we put something there which may not be the full thing, but secures it? My concern is we lose that, the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, but okay, good point. Why do we need to make a decision now? Southern Train saying we need to know.
No.
Right,
I think it was what, as councillor Pons has just said, that if we install it, then we know we've got it and it can't be, permission can't be removed. I seem to remember, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it, that there was an estimate, was it of about £500? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, rings a bell.
To complete that purchase and
Yes,
installation.
just do something there.
And actually, even if we de-installed it, you'd still have a bike rack that you could then,
okay,
so your sunk costs are likely to be the installation and de-installation should that become necessary. Which I don't have to hand, sorry. This is the problem when your committee clerk isn't here.
no, it's fine.
Yeah, with the information. You could perhaps make a resolution to finalise the cost and completely install if it's within a certain amount that you would be prepared to proceed with.
Okay. So, the proposal is to proceed with the installation of a bike rack at this visitor train station for the bike hire scheme. And with a proviso that the cost of installation is certain.
I think that included buying the rack as well, I think, but please forgive me if I'm wrong.
We don't really have all the details, do we? Let's be fair.
Can I just say, enough to secure it, so I don't know, maybe the whole thing was too grand, but enough to, at that point, it would be extremely difficult for Southern Railways to renege on their commitments. That, you see where I'm
Do you want to offer a delegated decision to proceed with spending up to £500 on securing that space,
Yes.
basically?
Yeah.
Does that sound reasonable?
Absolutely.
That's good. So that
Otherwise
we lose
we
that
will
whole
lose
thing.
it, yeah. And if we don't go ahead with it, we've got a bike rack.
Yeah, we've got both.
Who said we're going to lose the site?
Well, we're
Oh,
not,
look.
but you know.
So I've been on the town council 2.5 years. Getting somebody to agree something is a nightmare, and and I'm a bit like commutable sum. We just talked about it. Commutable sum was agreed. We've all agreed that a year ago it was agreed to, was it not? And we've now just heard that actually we're not sure that it was agreed to. Point made, I think.
Right. So yeah, we will propose that we'll ask Southern Trains to allocate that land to the bike rack, and we'll install the bike rack up to a value of installation cost up to about £500 as a decision. Do I need to propose that? No, second.
Oh, more than happy.
Does anybody have any comments to add to that? Councillor Barnett?
You were saying about what the risk is. Well, there is one risk. How long do Southern Railway still have to run on their whatever before they get nationalised? Because they're all got, there are about 2 or 3 in a matter of 2 or 3 months' time that will cease to be, that will be taken over. Southern Trains is not in that 2 or 3, but in a very quick succession, they're all being. So getting the decision made before some legal person says, we're near to the handover, we need to stop doing something.
We've had it in writing.
Could be a thing to watch.
I think, good point. Southern have confirmed in writing.
Yeah.
That's good.
I was going to say that might be on the flip side more reason to crack on.
Yeah, that's why, yeah.
Grasp the
That was the
net.
point you're making.
Okay, all those.
It was.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong way.
No, it was exactly.
We agreed. I didn't even realise.
Yeah.
Correct.
No,
I thought
exactly.
I thought you said that.
Well, no, it's something
Okay,
could.
sorry.
But we've also talked about the
Change.
potential area
Could
at
be pulled if you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great minds think.
Parenside Drive is a potential area that we would consider.
Uh-huh.
Can you just make a note of that Market Square? Did you make a note on the report?
Active travel at West Sussex?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the plan.
Right, okay, item, that's great, thanks guys. Item number 9, solar panels, quotes being received today, 2 further quotes are being obtained. Which are going to be presented at the next meeting. Site visits were planned for early June for that. S106 funding could be used to purchase the panels. And
For where?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
good.
Here,
On the roof.
thank you, it didn't actually say that.
it was under communities and tourism for
Yeah.
years.
Well, that's why I was checking, that's exactly what the question
And
was.
the heritage bit's okay with it.
So the proposal is, solar panels on this building, on, Meridian Hall, and over on the old courthouse.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're gathering the, information around the cost of the panels and potential savings. And once we have all that and you resolve to proceed, we would then move to the planning process. But the good news is that we could buy the panels outright straight away using S106 money, which means we get this great big energy saving for free. Which would be
Excellent.
awesome if we can make it happen. So we've had one company out so far who provided their numbers, and I've got 2 more coming out in the next few weeks. And then once we have it all, I'll bring it, Sarah will bring it to you lot to have a look at, and hopefully you'll understand it better than me.
Nice.
It's a bit confusing, but
Look
yeah,
forward to
we'll
that.
get to the bottom of it.
That's the point.
We look at, as part of that, they're looking at a range of options, including battery storage and all that
Yes.
good stuff.
Battery storage, regular monitoring, maintenance, all that lovely stuff, yeah. Because the one company who's come out did say that they've been called in to look at maintaining panels installed by other companies, and they've got there and realised that only one panel out of the whole suite still works. And we want to make sure that if we install them, that doesn't happen here. We need to make sure that there is monitoring, active monitoring of the panels and how they're working is part of this scheme.
Thank you very much. Look forward to
So,
that.
yeah,
Item number 10 is Bee Friendly Towns. Everyone saw the email. We are now officially awarded
Marvellous.
the accolade of being a bee friendly town, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And also you'll see that there are some painted buzzy bees on all of the planters around town. I don't know if you've seen them. To mark that. Keep an eye out for them. All expertly made and hand painted by the outdoor team, Luke particularly. So yeah, pass on our thanks to Alison and Tim for that. We didn't know our plot.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
I want to know how my community gardens can get some bees because I wasn't offered any.
the little bees.
Yeah,
I will.
thank you. That's marvellous. Have someone ring you later.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's a trail. I don't know if anybody's seen the banner on the playground. Some of the youth group kids have designed posters and things about it, which is brilliant. And also there is a lot of bee-friendly information placards as well, dotted around the top as well. So it's really interesting. Can I ask, are we inviting schools to come in and have a look at those things? There's a trail.
I don't know. I can ask Deputy Town Clerk, because this has very much been her project that she has led. So yeah, but I can.
Might be ideal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, please pass on that congratulations to Tim.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Excellent stuff. So that's it. The next meeting is Tuesday, the 12th of August. I would say it's probably not 7 o'clock. Is it?
Action. I'll double
Oh,
check.
actions.
I want to go through the actions.
Yes, please.
That's fine. So actions, we have 4 on here. One is the walking cycling leaflet, which we've already discussed. That's in progress. The shared services working group, again, we've already discussed that as an agenda item. The bike scheme, again, already on the agenda, which has been discussed tonight, and Bee Friendly Towns, which was an action to submit the application, and that's been completed. So those are your actions, outstanding actions.
Do we add, are you going to add more to that from this meeting?
Yeah, we can update those.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I apologise if I wasn't listening closely enough. The East Court cycle rack, which I think was the one that Ros was, don't recall us. We were going to expand on that in the main body of the agenda.
Only that I did it in chair's announcements, only that basically we're having to wait for quotes. And but it's back on the agenda again. There was talk of some funding, active travel funding that might pay for it as well. So I think Deputy Town Clerk is also investigating whether there's that option too, rather than it coming out of our budget.
I wish to sort of raise my frustration. I think it's been a year.
I know
We've not even got quotes.
there have been quotes.
Not enough quotes.
No.
No.
Yeah, it's gone on a bit too long. So yeah, we're back on. So I will take some responsibility for that, actually, for not keeping it at top of the agenda. Is there anything else that we need to do apart from those actions?
No, I'm just checking, see if I can find a meeting, because the time of the next meeting, that's what I'm just going to try and check the
It says 7 o'clock, but I don't know if that was going to coincide with the planning.
that's, I'm just looking. Here we go.
How many weeks is it? It's 12, it will end.
12th of August, is it?
Quite correct, it should say 7:45, yes. Thank
I
you.
was about to say he's considered ES&T Act in 1945.
Yes. 7:45 next time.
Excellent. So, day next meeting, Tuesday, 12th of August, 7:45. I close the meeting at 8:19.